I'm Melissa. Standing in the doorway of my restaurant, I watched as Stella was let out in handcuffs, her face a mask of shock and rage. The local news crews were already swarming, eager to cover the major drug bust in the upscale shopping district. Stella shrieked at me, "What did you do?" I calmly replied, my phone recording every moment, "I just ran my restaurant. You're the one who decided to run something else." It all started 6 months ago when my father, Henry, passed away. He left me a significant inheritance, including the building that housed my restaurant, Melissa's Fusion Cuisine, and Stella's high-end fashion boutique next door. Stella had been my father's wife for only 2 years, but she was convinced she deserved everything. My father was a shrewd and kind man. He built his wealth through hard work and integrity. But Stella, a calculating and greedy woman, saw an opportunity to take over his assets. She started to manipulate him, isolating him from his friends and family, and trying to gain control of his business. I had seen her schemes coming long before my father's death. I watched as she gradually took over my father's life, but I knew my father was not as naive as she thought. In his final months, he confided in me, and we put a plan in motion with the help of my lawyer, Ava, and the FBI. One day, right after the lunch rush at my restaurant ended, Stella sauntered in, clicking her designer heels on the hardwood floor. She held a health inspection report like a prize, with a triumphant smile on her red lips. She read out the so-called major violations, loud enough for the remaining customers to hear: improper food storage, inadequate hand-washing facilities, and evidence of pest infestation. I kept my cool, wiping down the counter. Asked her if I could help, saying we were preparing for dinner service. She scoffed and said my reputation was finished, as she had already shared the report on all review sites and local foodie groups. I picked up the report with gloved hands and thanked her for spreading the word. My calm reaction confused her. She expected me to be in tears or panic, but I just gave her a professional smile. She leaned across the counter and said it was the end of my dream, just as she had promised my father if he left me anything in his will. I knew then that this was exactly what we had been waiting for. I started to prep vegetables for dinner and invited her to stay for lunch, offering Chef Leo's award-winning Thai curry. She got angry, insisting the report was real, and I was done. I told her that sometimes people only see what they want to see and don't look deeper. I pointed out the pattern of anonymous food, safety complaints, sudden catering contract cancellations, and mysterious negative reviews. She blushed slightly but maintained her superior attitude, saying I was just bad at running a restaurant. I explained to her about pattern recognition, how easy it was to document and track certain behaviors. She thought I was babbling, but I knew she was starting to get nervous. As she left, saying I'd enjoy my last few days in business, Chef Leo emerged from the kitchen. He said she had taken the bait. I nodded and sent a text to Ava. We had set up cameras to record her visit, and the timing was perfect, right after we installed new equipment. 2 hours later, I was in Ava's downtown office. District Attorney Ryan and FBI Agent Lily were there, reviewing the evidence we had gathered over the past 6 months. The health inspection report was the final piece. Ava said Stella not only arranged a fraudulent inspection but also spread false information to harm my business. Lily pulled up files on her laptop and showed that Stella's boutique had been laundering money for her real drug trafficking business. My father had first become suspicious when he noticed discrepancies in the store's revenue reports. Designer clothes were sold for cash, but the inventory never decreased. Ryan said my father's notes were invaluable. He had documented everything but knew confronting Stella directly would be dangerous, so he reached out to the FBI. In fact, in his final months, my father helped set up an elaborate trap. Stella's greed and vindictiveness made her blind to the signs. Lily showed us the security camera footage of Stella's boutique after hours, with well-dressed customers entering through the back door, leaving with more than just clothes, and engaging in cash transactions and coded conversations. We also learned that my father's will was a strategic move. By leaving me the building, he ensured that Stella couldn't move or hide her operation without raising suspicion. So she tried to force me out with false complaints, sabotaged contracts, and the fraudulent health inspection. The health inspector who wrote the report was already in custody and had rolled over on Stella, giving details about other businesses she had targeted. It was time to move. Ryan said the warrants were signed, and they would raid the boutique during Stella's afternoon private shopping appointment. I was told to keep running my restaurant and be ready with my phone at 3 p.m. Back at the restaurant, Chef Leo had everything under control. Our regular customers seemed unaffected by Stella's online smear campaign. Through the front windows, I could see Stella arranging displays in her boutique, completely unaware that her world was about to collapse. At 2:45 p.m. 3 expensive cars pulled up outside the boutique. Stella's special customers were arriving for their private shopping session. At 2:55, unmarked vehicles started to position themselves around the block. At 2:59, I got a text from Lily, showtime. The raid was swift and methodical. FBI agents emerged from all directions. Stella tried to run, but she forgot that the back exit she thought was an escape route had been sealed off during a renovation years ago. The door she left unlocked led to a storage room. As she was led away in handcuffs, her carefully maintained facade crumbled. She accused me of ruining everything, but I told her the truth about her drug operation and how my father had seen through her. In the days that followed, Stella's empire fell apart. The investigation uncovered her connections to organized crime, money laundering operations across multiple states, and evidence linking her to the suspicious deaths of 2 previous husbands. Her boutique's inventory was seized, and the designer clothes were revealed as counterfeits. Meanwhile, Melissa's fusion cuisine thrived. The publicity from Stella's arrest brought in curious customers, and Chef Leo's innovative menu and our excellent service earned us a Michelin star 6 months later. 1 year after Stella's arrest, I was in my office above the restaurant, reviewing renovation plans to expand into the space formerly occupied by her boutique. I received a letter from the Federal Correctional Facility. It was from Stella. In the letter, she admitted that my father had seen through her and that she underestimated both of us. As I looked out of my office window at the busy street below, I thought about my father. He taught me that sometimes the best revenge is to build something your enemies never thought possible, right where they tried to destroy you.